Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Not As Glamorous podcast. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I pray that you take a gem or something from this episode that you can apply it and implement it into your life. So, do you remember that song when Drake said, "No new friends, no new friends, no, no, no"? Well, that was a cute song, and it really was. And back then, I did kind of agree with having no new friends. But as I kind of grew up a little bit, I've learned that that's not necessarily the case. I thought the friends that I grew up with would be the only ones, that I would ever need. But let me tell you something. As I've matured and lived a little bit in life, I realized there's nothing wrong with having new friends. In fact, some of the most meaningful friendships that I do have, I've built in my adulthood. Here's the thing about adult friendships. They hit different, totally different. And I can appreciate them more now because I see the role that people play in my life in ways that they couldn't when I was younger. We're all walking different paths. But the beauty in this is that each of them brings something unique to the friendship, a different perspective, different wisdom, different encouraging moments, different encouraging words, and that's what helps us grow. I think about my own crew and my friends that I have, and honestly, I count them as a blessing twice because they help me become a better woman. They remind me of my worth when I forget my worth. They help push me to dream bigger and go for the stars. And when I settle for less, they're quick to let me know that's not what you're going to do. They show up when I need them the most, and I can always count on them. And listen, I know everyone, is not fortunate enough to have that kind of circle. Some of you may be struggling in your friendships. Some friendships may drain you instead of build you, or they may feel like, you don't have anyone at all. But that's why today I want to talk about why your crew really does matter, and how to recognize when God placed the right people in your life, and how you can be intentional about surrounding yourself with those kind of friends who help you grow but don't hold you back. So keep in mind that friendships do have seasons. I love seeing those TikToks. Have you seen it where it's like maybe a bridal party or so, and they'll have like the childhood friends, and then they'll show the adult friends, and it's kind of like a versus each other. It's so cute to me because it reminds me how friends can look different among, the different paths that you're taking, depending on the different season that you're in life. But one side may know your childhood memories, and the other ones may know, your adult stories that you have, or, with your children. They all help you grow into the woman that you are today. But no matter, both friendships are valid, childhood and adult friendships. You appreciate them both. And as we grow, our paths just kind of naturally change. Sometimes your career shifts, or you move to a new city, and you're starting a family, or you're starting a new business adventure, or even just growing spiritually. All of that impacts who you are connected to and the people that you are around. And sometimes those changes mean that your friendships evolve or even fade. I know me, I've had friends that I've made before, and we're not necessarily friends anymore. All of them, actually most of them, there were no bad fallout. It's just, it fades. Seasons change, and those friendships don't go with you to the next level. It still doesn't mean I don't have any love for them. I still do. I wish them the best, and, I hope life continues to be good to them. But we just didn't align anymore for the seasons that we're walking into life. That doesn't always mean, something went wrong. Sometimes you just simply outgrow each other, and that's okay. Releasing friendships don't have to be mean or messy or bitter or no beef or anything. It just means that the season that we're walking into are separate, and the one we walked in together has ended. Not everyone is meant to walk with you in your whole journey in your life. Some friends are for a reason, some are for a season, some are for a lifetime. And the key is being able to recognize which is which and appreciating the role that they play in your story. That's where your discernment is going to come into place. Because if you're trying to take friends that are for a season into a lifetime, you're in for a disaster. So you want to have discernment when it comes to friendships, and pray over your friendship. It's nothing wrong with praying over friends. A lot of people feel like you just pray for yourself or your relationship or your spouse. No, you pray for your friendship as well, because God works in those friendships. He wants to heal. He wants to grow. Well, that contributes to who you are. Your crew also shapes you. You probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around, or the time that you spend, you're the average with those 5 people. And honestly, it is true. Who you're around will shape who you are, how you talk, how you think, and even how you move through life. So think about it. Who are those 5 people that you talk to the most? Are they good for you? Are they contributing to the life that you want to live? Ask yourself, who do I sound like? Who do I think like? Who am I acting like? If your crew is negative and they're always complaining, always gossiping, or stuck in the same cycles, guess what? That's what you're absorbing, even if you don't realize it. You're taking in what they're putting out. Also, keep in mind what you're putting out as well, because they're taking that in as well. So you don't want to be around friends who are talking about the same gossip from 15 years ago. Who cares? You want to surround yourself with people who are elevating, who are wanting to grow, who are looking to grow spiritually, mentally, physically. They don't want to stay stagnant in that old life of a cycle. Don't get caught up cycles. Cycles is where you're doing the same thing over and over. Seasons, yes, you go through different seasons, but seasons end. Cycles don't end because you're putting yourself through it. So know the difference there. When you shift your circle, you will notice that you can start to dream bigger. Your conversations aren't about drama anymore. They're about vision. They're about purpose. They're about goals. They're about growth. And that's what makes you level up without even trying. In the Bible, Proverbs 13:20, it says, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." It's simple. If you walk with fools, you're going to be the next fool. Your walk determines your wisdom. The people you surround yourself with will either push you closer to God or they will pull you further away. And you want to be sure that you're going towards God and what He has for you in your life. Friendships are a blessing. And as I stated before, I'm so grateful for my friends. They are they're the reason why I can push through some of the hard days. They're the reason why I can remind myself of who I am as well. They say, girl, toot your own horn sometimes. And sometimes you need that reminder. They reminded me of my worth in moments where I wanted to just settle. They spoke in life into me when I was discouraged. And they stepped in and helped me when I didn't even have the strength to help myself. So I really do appreciate and love them for doing that for me. A real friend is truly a blessing from God. You know the difference when you leave a conversation with a friend and you feel filled up and inspired and ready to go afterwards versus a conversation where you feel drained and like, yeah, I don't have to talk to them for a while. I'm good on them. There's a difference. And peep the difference. Stop hanging with the people that make you feel the louder and make you feel drained. You want to go to those friends that is giving you life, not taking your life from you. A healthy friendship is going to be one that's accountable, that's encouraging, that's supportive and honest, not the opposite. You don't want a draining friendship. You don't want a friendship full of gossip, competition, manipulation, jealousy. Why are you friends with someone who's jealous of you? Why are you friends with someone who don't want you to shine? You should always be surrounded by people who tell you to shine even brighter because there's enough room for everyone at the top. I promise you it is. So let's be real. Building intentional friendship as an adult, it does take some effort between work, family, friends, new businesses, babies, just life in general. It's not easy meeting up. It's not like it was when we were in high school or in college and we can just meet up with each other and just hang out. Nowadays, if it's not on the calendar, it could slip our mind and we don't make it happen. But that doesn't mean you can't build meaningful connections. You just have to be a little bit more intentional. Also, be intentional about where you're meeting friends if you're trying to meet new friends. Get plugged in at your church. Network through your different businesses. Meet up with people who have similar hobbies as you. I know a hobby that I was participating in that I took up was tennis. I met people through tennis. And it's good to meet people that have the same interests that you do because you guys can have something that's relatable, that's something you guys can connect with. So join communities that align with your goals and your values. And please, drop the no new friends mindset. God may be placing someone in your path not to replace your old friends, but just to add another layer of wisdom and accountability and support to your journey. Be the friend that you also want to have. If you want loyalty, if you want encouragement, prayer, and support, give that. You take the first step and give that in your friendship. God will honor it and surround you with people who pour right back into you. So I would like for you to reflect. Take a look at your people that you hang out with. Take a look at your circle, your friends, your acquaintances. Let's see, are they helping you build or are they draining you? Are they giving you life or are they taking life from you? Just evaluate your crew. Make sure that they are the people that God wants you to be surrounded with so that you can be in line with His will. So thank God for the people He has placed in your life and stay open for new connections He may be trying to make. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Not As Glamorous podcast. If you like, subscribe, and I hope you guys are tuned in for the next one. Talk to you then.